Hello, I'm going to be reading The Snowflake, a water cycle story. And when I look at this title, I am thinking to myself, is this going to be a story just about winter and what is happening to this snowflake? When I look at the picture, that's what I think, but when I kind of look at the subtitle of this story, I'm thinking, maybe I am going to learn some more about the water cycle, because a snowflake is only one small piece of the water cycle, and really only one phase that water can go into. So I'm thinking, maybe this is more of a science story about the water cycle, and we're just going to kind of use the snowflake to kind of go through it. So let's see if that's the case. I'm not sure. So here we are. We're starting with December. Interesting heading for my page. January, beginning of the year. Wonder if we're going to go through the whole year with this snowflake. On a moonless night, a tiny snowflake fell from a great gray cloud. It floated slowly downward with thousands of other flakes coming to rest on the peak of a mountain. So here's our snowflake falling on the mountain. Here it is. February. Not as much snow on the top of the mountain. I'm noticing that. The wind whistled over the mountain, carrying the snowflake back up in the air. The snowflake twisted and spun, swirling into a pond on the mountainside. The snowflake melted into a droplet, but as the days grew colder, the pond froze. So now this snowflake is part of this frozen pond down here. And we know that this pond is also part of the water cycle. Ooh, here we go. March. It looks like it's getting a little warmer, doesn't it? I don't see any snow anymore. I see the warm sunshine, and I see lots of water. Maybe a lot of that ice has melted. As the sun grew warmer, the ice began to melt. Yep, look at that. The snowflake became a droplet of water once again. It fell through a crack in the rocky pond bottom and trickled down into the ground. Downward it sank into the blackness within the mountain. Along with millions of other droplets, it splashed into the underground stream that flowed deep into the earth. So we see all the water, all the underground water under our earth, which again is part of our water cycle. April, here we are. It's getting warm. We're seeing a little bit of green, lots of water still, of course. We still see those clouds in the sky, and that's also part of the water cycle. After a long journey, the stream turned upward, bubbling through the ground in an icy spring, sparkling in the sunlight. Okay, so we're going to continue reading, and now we're going into May, and look at all of this green, and I see sprinklers here. I wonder if my original snowflake is now going to be used in the sprinkler. Let's read and find out. Here we go, May, 5th month. A shiny metal pump sucked the droplet through the maze of zigzagging pipes into an irrigation system. Yep. The water, what did we see? The water is now going to be used to water this field. And look, the droplet flew in the great arc, landing at last on the leaf of a cabbage plant. So here it is. June. In the chill of the morning, a heavy blanket of fog rolled over the farm. The droplet slowly evaporated and floated into the thick grayness. So now that same water droplet is now part of this fog, this more early morning fog, which again we know is part of the water cycle. And we're halfway through the year. And now it's rising high in the sky and becoming a cloud. July. Ooh, goodness, look at this page. We've got all these cumulonimbus clouds up in the sky. Let's see, I know that they're called cumulonimbus, and I'm kind of thinking that. And depending on how old my students are, we can talk about that. The cloud joined a mass of darkening storm clouds, lightning flashed, thunder rumbled, and a torrent of raindrops dived toward the earth. The droplet rocketed downward and splashed into the clear waters of the reservoir. Ooh, that's another great word, reservoir. That is going to be a man-made source of accumulation for water on Earth's surface. Through a series of filters that removed all the dirt particles into pure water for us to drink. And gosh, look at this. Look at these pipes. This is interesting. Let's read and find out what this is, because this looks like these are underground. These look like layers of earth here. The droplet swished through a long metal pipe. It pumped into a smaller pipe and into a smaller pipe, where it suddenly stopped and started and stopped and started again in herky-jerky motions. Now, I kind of am thinking, what is this? We just were in here in a reservoir, and usually a reservoir is connected to a dam. A dam is holding that back, and then there's a hydroelectric plant within that dam. So I'm thinking, this is probably a hydroelectric plant that's generating electricity with the flow of water. September. Here we are. Here's a little girl washing her face. In a bathroom, a young girl twisted the faucet and the droplet poured out into the bathroom sink. So yes, this water is going to be used to wash this little girl, and then it's going to go back down into and through a drain, through another dark pipe. Here comes the water back again into the ocean. After a long journey, the droplet poured out into the ocean. It flowed past fields of waving grasses and corals of many colors and into the mouth of a great striped fish. Passing through the fish's body, the droplet returned to the sea. Here's November. We're almost to the end of the year. We started in January. Raising up to the ocean's surface, the droplet was pulled steadily toward the shore. On the crest of a mighty wave, up here, it bubbled into foam, crashing into the sandy beach of a tropical island. So now it's on a warm riverbank, or warm ocean bank. December, the sunlight of winter's morning, the droplet evaporated. It rose into the air, entering a great gray cloud. The whistling wind pushed the cloud across the sea, past cities and towns, and beyond an icy spring, over a raging river. On a moonless night, a tiny snowflake fell from the cloud. It floated slowly downward with thousands of other flakes coming to rest on the jagged peak of the mountain. So now we're back where we started, and we are having a snowflake again. So this is a great way to kind of use some predicting skills, obviously some great vocabulary, and a great way to pull in some prediction skills, like I said, and finding the important details. What were some of the most important things, the important words in our book? Thanks.